This is a story of Big and Easy Lemonade and how this turned into this, sold 100,000 cups in our first year, and grew into this, 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 and this. Hi everyone and welcome back to Philippines in Full Effect. This is Bea.
And I'm Stephen, and today we're happy to bring you the first episode of our business series.
We are finally here sharing the full story to you guys and to formally introduce you to our company, the name of the company, Big and Easy Lemonade. So this is a story of how a Filipina and an American teamwork makes the dream work. And how we started as one location and spawned into an 8 location in two different provinces in the Philippines.
2 different islands,
Yeah.
complete. And how we managed to develop a concept. And in our first year, we sold 100,000 cups of lemonade.
So if you want to learn about the full story behind that, keep watching.
How did we get into lemonade? Well, we were in Mall of Asia in Manila one time, and we were just walking through and happened upon a lemonade kiosk. So I was excited. I had been in the Philippines for several months and had never seen a lemonade kiosk. So I'm always gonna buy lemonade in the mall if I see it. So bought it, tried it, thought, hey, it's not that bad. It's not the best, but it's not that bad. So that was that, Didn't really think of it yet that we could do this. Went back to the mall the next day. Let me go get another lemonade. Went and got the other lemonade, and it was so different. It was hard, it was horrible compared to the first day. And that's where the spark hit me. I said, wait a minute, we're looking for a business. Look at this, I know I can make a better lemonade than this because we know what lemonade tastes like. Filipinos don't really, when you grew up, was there lemonade?
No, it's the calamansi, the green lime, little limes that we do, and we always make those during summer times, but they don't taste like lemonade.
No, it's a much stronger citrus taste. So that was the spark. We saw an opportunity in the market, and then when I started thinking, wow, just one perishable ingredient.
It's not risky.
Yeah, the risk level goes way down, and so that was it. That was the eureka moment for our lemonade business.
And so the wedding is just around the corner, so we had our wedding break. We had all the preparations for the wedding. So all of the business ideas and creativity for us is moved to the side to give way to the wedding. And so, we got married.
Yeah, that was probably the most important thing. We weren't thinking about business when the wedding plans and actual event took place. So we started thinking, okay, what are our next steps after we have this idea about the lemonade? So naturally, we go to the mall, there was only one new major mall in Puerto Princesa at the time, so that made it really easy. It was either that or move out into other areas. And so it was a no-brainer. We'll start our business in the mall.
If you find our content to be interesting or helpful, please subscribe, like, share this video, and don't forget to leave your comments down below if you have any questions about business or any questions that you would like to ask, and we'll surely answer them. So hit that like and subscribe button.
Okay, so once we got
The green light.
and we got our location that we agreed upon, it was time to fully develop the business. And it was time to come up for a name and start building the concept. And initially I wanted to name it after my wife, endearing. And I came up with Bea's Best. Bea's Best Lemonade. And she?
It doesn't ring a bell. It doesn't even jump at you.
And I think I really had a couple of other names. So when she kept,
Seashell something.
yeah, there was something about a seashell lemonade, or, you know, because we're very near the beach. It's a beach island, you know, it's so close. I was trying to make some associations between our environment and the business. But that didn't quite work either. I even had a nice little logo with a seashell. I can't remember the name of it, but.
So why Big and Easy?
Well, after Bea put down all of my other ideas, I thought, yeah, she was red lighting me. So I said, okay, I'm gonna present something she can't argue with. I tapped into my hometown of New Orleans, and anybody that knows, if you travel the world, if you had to pick something out of the USA that involved cuisine or festivals and things like that, New Orleans, Mardi Gras, New Orleans is a fertile ground for business ideas. You know, New Orleans is also known as the Big Easy. And so I thought, okay, that's it, Big Easy Lemonade. We'll make it a big cup, easy to serve, easy to come up and get lemonade. That was it.
Finally, we have a name for the business, and it's very important to get that as your legal name. So we're good on that. So now it's time to formulate the recipe.
The recipe.
Yeah, so since I had a background in baking, it was really easy for me to formulate the sugar. Maybe we'll add some little bit of this and that. So
Yeah.
We did all of that. You know, we bought some we bought some lemons, sugar.
Yeah. And at the time, we were just squeezing them in, you know, that basic home lemonade squeezer that everybody has. We were making it like that because I knew what it should taste like. I was directing Bea. I drank a lot of lemonade, enough to get sick of it, guys. It was, you know, it was almost hard after a while.
Yeah, because when I was making it, I always make it so sweet.
Yeah, it was
and
too
he's like,
sweet.
this is still too sweet. And I was like, you know, isn't it supposed to be? But, you know, after a couple of tries, I think
trial and error. Yeah, we were literally developing this in our
home kitchen.
Yeah, our home kitchen. And the challenge there was that just to get it consistent, because at the time we still didn't know, are we going to use a whole lemon? Because it generally took a whole lemon to make a cup of lemonade. And of course, you start thinking, is this really cost effective? What would we have to charge if we used a whole lemon? And that could get expensive. And if we priced it too high, people wouldn't buy it. So we had to work out a recipe that really
cost
worked
effective.
and cost effective.
So how do we make it cost effective?
Well, we figured out a recipe that could make 2 cups of lemonade with 1 lemon. And also we figured out how to make a consistent lemonade. The lemon will always change. It's hard because some lemons were really sweet, some are bitter. So you can't base your recipe just on the lemon, but there are other things you can do to create a consistent product from variations in lemons. And so in our recipe discovery process, we hit that, and we hit it right on.
Magic recipe.
Yeah. So what you didn't have was somebody come one day, it tastes like this.
And then
Another
the next
day, oh, it's not good at all. The only change would be, oh, this one's sweet, oh, this one's a little sour. And that was it.
But it would still.
Yeah, it would generally stay the same. So the recipe was really important, and we nailed it. We figured out a way to make the lemonade so that it's consistent. And I think that was a big part of our success. You gotta have a good product. All the other flash, it means nothing if nobody's coming because you have a bad reputation.
So now we have the name, we have the perfect recipe. It's time to conceptualize what the kiosk is gonna look like, and the colors and the logo and all of the good stuff. So while I was doing some errand work, I started sketching. I was just conceptualizing what it would look like, and Steve was the one who was like, we need to have a monitor and a TV monitor in there, so incorporate that in there. So I just started, scribbling and drawing things, and it became into a reality.
When she presented me that drawing, because I was at home and she was running errands and she had to wait for something. She was in a coffee shop, and she called me or texted me and said, "Hon, I drew the kiosk. I'm coming back home. I'll be home in a little while." And so she comes home and she shows me this kiosk, and I'm like, "Okay, we can work with this drawing." And that's when I started putting it together. How to make a kiosk that attracts attention, has a lot of function, because we had to store so much. We had to store a lot of lemons, we had cups, straws, napkins, cleaning materials. So our kiosk, over a lot of people's, with the same dimensions, it wasn't that much for workers to fit in. We had to have a freezer in there to store our ice. Initially, we thought we needed a cooler to put the lemons in, but later we realized lemons can stay out a week or so, and they're still good. They won't spoil.
But initially, the conception of what are the things that are going to be in there, they all change as we really dive into the actual operation, the reality of the operation.
Yeah. That first kiosk was just enough to be highly functional because it was not the best layout. We didn't have the layout because space we were using for things like the freezer, we didn't have much room for water storage and other things that we needed, especially when you get to the volume of lemonade we were making. Okay, you're probably wondering what that title means, press or smash. So as we're developing the kiosk, the logo, everything's coming along, we needed a real lemonade press, because at the time we can't have a business with that little home squeezer. But they didn't even have that in Puerto Princesa. we had to fly to Manila again and search around in Manila to try to find a lemonade press, which we did. We found one.
And it wasn't easy to find.
No, it wasn't even easy in Manila. We were searching a lot of places and nobody
obscure
had.
places.
They didn't have them in the malls. It was some little
Hole in the
just
wall.
shop off of a street
Yeah.
that we eventually found it. And it was maybe about $60. It wasn't that cheap. But it was heavy duty restaurant grade. So we had this press. So we flew back to Puerto Princesa, then started really refining the recipe and process with this hand squeezer. But I'm watching Bea use this squeezer, right? I'm watching, I'm looking at my watch, I'm timing, I'm like, you know what? Number one, that's gonna get tiring, for our workers to constantly be squeezing that lemon. Then I'm thinking, I'm looking at the juice coming out and I'm like, okay, it's a lot of juice. There's a lot of PSI under that thing, but there has to be a better way. And in my search of just researching lemonade and lemonade business and lemons, I came across this business out the States that made these lemon smashers. And I was excited about it. I told Bea, I said, we gotta have this. We gotta get this. But
because of my frugal personality, I said no, it's too much, and we can just start with just the pressing thing. But that's the thing that I'm really glad about, that he pushed to have that particular equipment, because it made us stand out from all the rest of lemonade business. Now, there's a lot of lemonade business all over the Philippines, and I think we are the only ones.
Yeah, even to this day. Nobody else had that smasher. And they all wanted it, but of course I never told them where I got it. Plus, it's very expensive. I think to get that smasher, and then also I saw a slicer. So I'm like, look, this is gonna be a show. People are gonna wanna stand around our kiosks just to see the process of these lemons being made. And it was loud, you could hear it from the mall entrance. It wasn't like annoyingly loud, but it was a high piston pressing sound. And believe me, it was a sweet sound, because we knew that every time that thing was, we come in the mall on one end and we hear it, we knew we were making money.
Yeah.
So
every time we're in the mall, we're like, that's us.
Yeah.
So it's really nice, and
it was not easy to get here. The shipping was very expensive. I think for the smasher and the slicer rig, it was over $1,000 to get it here, and she just was not having that. But I insisted. I said, look, this is gonna be a spectacle for our business. So
it was.
Yeah. So we had the smasher, the slicer. We had the video monitor, which is another thing I insisted on, and had to get special revision from the mall to have a pylon with a video. And because initially we wanted to put it embedded in the kiosk, but they said, no, we can't do that. So I said, can we build a pylon? Got our special approval. Because my concept was, while people are waiting in line, and if they get bored with the smashing machine, they could watch all of these videos we can just put up, whether they were products or music videos or, just anything. I had Mardi Gras parade, Endymion nighttime parades with all the lights going, and people would sit there and watch that while they were standing in line, and they wouldn't realize that, hey, I'm not the first customer here. And it was a big attraction. Everything worked together. So smasher or press?
Press or smash?
Press or smash.
We now have our green light from the architect of everything that we want to be in the kiosk, like what he said earlier about the TV and all of the other things that we want to be included in there. So there has to be a final approval from the mall architect for that. And so we have the green light to start the construction. Which is a whole different story.
That is an experience in itself. Kiosk construction in the Philippines.
Tell the story about that. Our builder and all of the quirks that we have to go through.
Yeah. Well, there is no kiosk construction factory in the Philippines or in Puerto Princesa for sure. There are businesses that build kiosks, but very few. So we didn't have many leads to go on with the kiosks, but you got a lead from
the leasing manager, because they were like, so where are we gonna go to have this thing built? So she actually gave me I think just one person. That's how limited it is, in Puerto Princesa.
And luckily, I mean, this place we went to was more of a furniture building place than a kiosk building place. But they had a master carpenter. And this old dude, I called him Pops. I don't even know what his name is. But this guy was immaculate. I mean, when he started crafting this kiosk, I'm looking at it like, you could throw varnish on it. It could be a piece of furniture. It was like a work of art. Even though it was going to get covered up and plastered with signages and vinyl siding and panel siding and stuff, I'm like, wow, this guy can really make good furniture. So and it was built like a furniture. I mean, they didn't use nail guns to connect the boards or anything. They're tapping it in with a little hammer, I don't know, a fine nail hammer. It was just a very tedious process. I'm like, why aren't you just putting this together in a few days with nail guns and glue?
So maybe it took us like almost 2 months. It took them 2 months.
2 months to
then we found also signage people to do all the measurements.
We had to. And I was shocked about the signage because one thing about that made our business successful too, and I want to give Bea some props. Bea was well connected in the city. She knew a lot of people. She knew the right people. A friend of hers had a signage company. So when we went to him, it was like you were just dealing with a friend. And the prices were extremely low. I mean, all of our signage, I couldn't believe. Even the logo development was included in that. And I don't even know if it hit $500,
No, but here in Iloilo, since there are more resources here, the signages are cheaper here.
Yeah, they're actually cheaper here. Yeah. And eventually our logo, what you're seeing here, is not the first logo. This was the evolution of our logo.
Yeah.
And so, but the signage there was very limited. They only had like 2 colors for the signs.
No, actually they do have all that, but we had problems with with having our cups printed with multiple.
It was the cups. It was only 2 colors, but I said, look, our lemonade is going to sell itself. We're the only one in the mall. When people see it, they know it's ours. So why waste money on logo cups when everybody knew that was Big and Easy Lemonade because the cups were clear? So I wasn't so worried about branding the cups. So even after all of that, we still had one more hurdle of the mall because the kiosk was just about done. It was finished and they needed to sample the actual product.
I started the presentation, so I needed to create the product right there in front of the approval person, and he loved it. So yep, it wasn't like, maybe it just took like 20 minutes of presentation, and we're good. And then
Product was approved. So it's total green light. So we moved the kiosk from the builder to the mall in the receiving area of the mall. And the kiosk cannot fit in the elevator. So our last resort was bring it around front and try to get it through doors that they would maybe bring cars in and stuff. So we get it there, line it up, and the eye test says it's not going to fit. So the guard tells us you have to cut it in half.
It's 11:22 p.m. and we are way behind schedule. Will we make our grand opening by 10 a.m. the next day? Stay tuned for the next episode of the Big and Easy Lemonade story.